Hey there, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I know that the thumbnail probably sparked something in you because you thought that you needed an incredible amount of followers to just start. Let me get my mic on here. All right. But you don't. You really don't. You don't need a lot of followers to just start. And I'm very clear that the myth that I need this, I need that, I need the best website, I need a whole lot of followers, I need a whole lot of people whose eyeballs are on me, I need all those things to start something. That is not true. It's not true. And that's what I want to cover for you today. I want to talk about the big lie that you need a new audience to start with that rich, valuable knowledge of yours to get started. I want to talk about what you're sitting on right now that you can literally be making money with, that's just sitting there. I want to talk about the real reason that most creators don't sell beyond thinking they need a lot of followers. I want to dive into that. I want to talk about the journey, my journey from giving things away free to charging for transformation. I was that girl. And I want to get into this because I know that you've been praying about a solution. You've been praying about financial increase. You've been asking God, what do I do with this job that I hate, that I no longer want to work? Lord, what's the answer? I get it because I have been there before. And the good news that I want to share with you today, let me get on the right screen here for a second. The good news that I want to share with you today is that you don't need a big following to start. There was a sneak peek of scene 5 that I'm going to be covering, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to take my time with this episode because I know it is going to bless you. So you think you need a lot of followers to start making money? Nah. You just need the right product. And I'm going to take you through the exact product that you need to have, the exact product that you can have today if you're just willing to show up for yourself. Sis, you got to be willing to show up for yourself. And a lot of my podcasts are talking heart to heart. They are helping you through the journey, the ups, the downs, the ebbs, the flows. But that's not what this is today. This is not a pump me up, Angela, help me think differently, Angela, even though you will think differently by the end of this episode. It's more tactical. And a lot of my podcasts are not tactical. It's a heart-to-heart conversation. But I've been talking a lot. I've been talking all this year about what is actually in you, and you're more than enough, and your future self is talking to you. Please listen to her. And you've been praying for the solution, but you're ignoring the answer. And you have goals, but you have to check in to make sure you're reaching those goals. I have done a lot of talking and sharing and inspiring and motivating, and I'm not going to ever stop. But today is a bit different. It's time to make a move. I'm here literally transforming the entire scope and sequence of my podcast, which is mostly motivational and inspirational, a heart-to-heart talk, to, okay, it is time now. Because I think you're there. And if you still need those kinds of talks, they are there. Go back and watch a lot of them because they will inspire you and they will empower you, and they will help you make a move. But this is the move today. Welcome to the Little Oil Podcast. If you are new here, I'm Angela, and I started the Little Oil movement to help women just like you who are stuck and are not ready for the people who's telling you to make $1 million tomorrow with this one strategy, with this one move. You are at the point of, you know, there's something in you. You have a purpose that you want to fulfill. You have a passion that you need desperately to fuel. You know that there's a profit opportunity in the market, but you either are a no start or you are a just start. And the Little Oil is all about that. And the little oil is not just for women who are at the just start juncture. It's for women who have made the million, for women who have the million followers or have everything that they thought they wanted as a creator, but are stuck and you need to repurpose, recenter, reignite again. It's for you too. You can start back with that little oil and get back on track. Either way, today you're going to walk away with the exact plan you need to actually get that product done, launched, and monetized so that you can fix your money thing. You got to fix the money thing because it is interrupting your day, it's interrupting your marriage, it's interrupting your joy, it's interrupting your purpose, it's interrupting your peace. And so if you thought that I would love to start, but I just don't have enough people to follow me, I'm going to fix that for you today. Let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Little All Podcast. And the key point that I want to drive for you today is if you don't have an audience or if you have a small audience, no problem. You can make money online with a simple digital product. And that's what I want to get you to today. The simple digital product that you can use to start getting yourself out of whatever pit you're in. Financial pit, purpose pit, peace pit. We're getting up on out of there today. As a matter of fact, I want to make an adjustment to this. No audience, comma, small audience. That's better. No problem. So I fixed that for you so that I can cover everybody that is here. Either you have not started yet and you want to start, or you started and you only have 5 people following you on Instagram. You can use that. That is actually perfect. And I'll show you why in just a bit. So glad you're here. You're going to need pencil and paper or your favorite notes app so that you can take away all 5 of the steps that all 5 of the key points that I'm going to share with you today and the steps within those key points to get you where you need to be. I'm so super excited you are here. I am here for you. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the big lie that you need a huge audience to start. My advice to you is this. Don't worry about the audience size. Don't let that stop you. What you really need is an offer that meets the needs of your audience so that when you put that offer out there, the audience will start coming. See, most people think I'm going to build the product, I'm going to build the perfect logo, I'm going to build the perfect brand, and then I'm going to present it out there and people are just going to start flooding my way. But that's not the best option for you, which is good news because you don't have any of those things, right? And so the solution that you have that's surrounded by that rich, valuable knowledge of yours, that's the solution that you're going to present to your audience. What audience? Angela, they're not there. Create it for them anyway. Make them imaginary. As a matter of fact, when I first started, I started the wrong way. I spent an insane amount of money, a lot of money, trying to throw money at what I wanted to see happen in my business, thinking that the money was going to solve the problem. And you'll find out in a bit that that was just not the right move. Not only did it cost me a lot of money, it was worse. It costed me a lot of time that I could have been using to build wealth. And it costed me my peace and it costed my joy. And I burned out. Now, I didn't burn out fast because I'm one of those people that was going to drive and keep driving until I can't drive anymore. But I finally did crash. And it was not the best feeling in the world. And I can help you avoid all of that when you just overcome this big lie that you need a whole lot of people to start. What you want to do is create the offer. What you want to do is create that one digital product that you know is going to solve their problem. And when you create something that you know is going to solve your audience's problem, then they are going to start flooding to you because they want that solution. Back to when I first started, when I finally figured out all I needed was the solution for my audience, I pretended that they were already there because I didn't have a big audience. I pretended that they were already there, and I even gave my audience a name. I called her No Start, New Start Nancy, because when I created something, when I created the actual digital product or the offer or the challenge that I'll share with you in just a bit, when I created that, I had No Start, New Start Nancy in mind. In other words, I reverse engineered the path that most people follow to try to get rich very fast or try to build something sustainable. They wait for the audience and then they start building. I reverse engineered that. I ask myself, what does my No Start, New Start Nancy need? What is she complaining about? Where is her biggest trauma? Where is her biggest need? What is that biggest need for her? And I built what she needed as if a million of them were right there. And then when I built that and I presented that, people started showing up. I promise you, it works. I promise you, it works. So no more thinking, I need a huge audience to start. You don't need a huge audience. You need a huge solution. And I don't mean huge solution by big and a lot and elaborate and overwhelmingly sophisticated solution. That's not what I mean by big or huge. What I mean by big or huge is the big, huge one solution that your avatar, your audience has been actually waiting for. They're looking for it right now. How do I know? Because the data proves it. The keyword search for Google, the keyword search for YouTube, the keyword search for Pinterest, which are all search engines. What people are searching for is the solution you need to be building. They are already there. They might not be following you, but they are out there. So build something for them. You do not need a huge audience to start. You do not need a huge audience to start. What you need is a huge solution for them, for your audience. Remember, not a big, elaborate, sophisticated solution, just one digital product that is huge in that it actually solves. That is what I mean. So now that you know you don't need a huge audience to start, I want you to think about that. What you're sitting on could be a product. What do I mean by that? What does that mean, Angela? So let's say, for instance, I want to use the example of my sweet potato pie. How many love sweet potato pies? Go ahead and just give me a thumbs up in the comments. If you are watching the replay or if you're on the live, do you love sweet potato pie? Well, let's say, for instance, you were with your grandma back in the day, and she taught you how to make sweet potato pies. And you loved that time with her. It sustained you. It promoted you. It showed you your value. It did all the things that every girl in this world needs, and that is value and validation. And so all those times with your grandma, you begin to perfect the feeling of that pie. And now you have the absolute best pie filling in the world. You know it is. Why? Because every time there's a church camp or a church picnic or a conference, everybody wants your sweet potato pie. As a matter of fact, if you labeled all the pies on the table, yours is the one that is devoured first, but everybody else's sweet potato pie is still left on the table, right? These are indicators that yours is the best. People are consuming it. People are calling you and asking you, what's the special ingredient that you put in your pie? Don't tell them. That's your money maker, right? You get it. You get the point. And so the crust is not all that great. Your crust is not all that great. It'll do, right? And it may even be nasty. But that's okay, because the feeling is what is your moneymaker. Excuse me. I'm getting over the flu. It was really horrible. I'm getting over it. You can see it's my proof right here. But that pie feeling, though, let's get back on track, Angela. But that pie feeling, though. And so where am I going with this? Be the feeling. See, the old mindset that I talked about in the intro, in the key point number 1, that you think you need a whole huge following to just get started. The reason why you're sitting on that wonderful, excellent, majestic, awesome pie filling of yours is because you think that you don't have enough people to present it to share it with. But that's not true. As a matter of fact, that pie, how you make that pie, that is a product. It's a digital product, because how many people want to learn how to make sweet potato pies? And so even though you don't have the filling figured out, even if you don't have the crust figured out, but that filling is great, you're sitting on something really amazing that can make you millions of dollars with just what you have. There are 3 people that I know of right now that have made multiple 6 figures. One person made $500,000 on a $27 product. Can I just repeat that again? There are 3 people that I know of right now that made multiple 6 figures with the $27 product. And there's one person that I know of right now that made $500,000 on a $27 product. So no, you might not have the crust all figured out, but that pie filling though, you figured out how to make the perfect pie filling and you're just sitting on it. That's a product. That's a $27 product on the best and easiest way to make pie filling for a sweet potato pie. I know that there are millions of people out there that love sweet potato pies. How do I know? Because Mrs. Smith, does she make sweet potato pies? Let's pretend she does. Mrs. Smith is making multi-millions on pies that are already made for people who don't know how to make one or don't want to make one. But you figured out how to make one that tastes better than Mrs. Smith's. And she's making millions off of one that's half standard. Like, I don't even love her pies. Sorry, Mrs. Smith. There are a lot of people who do. I personally don't. I'll take a homemade pie any day of the week. I don't know how to make one, but you're telling me for $27, you'll give me the exact secret that it takes to make a perfect sweet potato pie? Why would you not put that in a digital product and sell that? Oh, because you don't think that there's enough people following you. Make the digital product that outlines the specific steps to make the perfect sweet potato pie filling. And then the people who need that, the people who've been looking for that, they're going to pay you $27, and then you will grow from there. You are sitting on what could be a product. So the point I'm making is this: it may not be a sweet potato pie filling that you have the solution for, but whatever you do have the solution for, you're sitting on a product around that. And I'm going to talk to you and teach you in a minute where to go from there. So you're over the fact that you need a huge following, and now you see that you have something that in your hand that you've been sitting on. What does that mean? You could have been rich. You could have been debt free. You could have been bought that car cash. You could have been provided your child where they needed to go to college so they won't have to borrow money. You're sitting on wealth. You're sitting on your financial breakthrough because you thought you needed a following to do it. You have a product that you're sitting on based on your knowledge and expertise. So let's say, for instance, Angela, I don't know a whole lot about anything. Remember, if you don't take anything away from this podcast, remember this: be the filling. You don't have to have an amazing crust recipe just yet. Be the filling. So the only thing that I've ever done, Angela, was save $1,000 on a minimum wage salary. You know how many people don't have $1,000? You're sitting on a product on how to save $1,000 on a minimum wage salary. If I needed $1,000, if I needed to get out of debt, if I was in a money pit, if I was suffering through financial trauma, and you had a product that said how to save $1,000 on a minimum wage salary, and it was $27, I would not go to Wendy's for 2 days and buy that to get out of my financial trauma. You're sitting on a product right now. And I'm going to take you through the exact steps you need to take to get that product out. Don't worry about the followers. Take your mind off the small number of followers that you have and put your mind on this one digital product that I'm going to show you how to create. Because what's happening is You think that it's the followers that's validating you. Followers don't validate you. The solution to their problem is what validates you. Why do you think I show up every single week for 342 followers? Because those 342 subscribers, those 342 people who are following me on YouTube, I'm making money from that. I am proof that you don't have to have a huge following. I am making money every single month with just the following that I have. Will that following grow? Yes, but I had to learn when I finally decided and believed once and for all that a huge following is not what was going to validate me and create something create something that I knew would help my people. When I did that, then the followers start showing up. And when I started being consistent about just sharing that story, sharing my experiences, sharing the skill, sharing the solution, the more I share the solution, the more people start showing up. So lie number one is you need a huge following to get started. But what you also need to realize is that you're sitting on a product. You're sitting on it right now. A $27 product, a $47 product. You're sitting on it right now. Let me show you what that looks like. I want you to look at this graphic on the screen. So this is something that I have available inside my Cura Circle. It's the community that I built for my No Start, New Start Nancy's, or any woman who wants to scale their business up. It's a community that I started to help you organize, systemize, and monetize your knowledge. I want you to look at the graphic on the screen. It's products like this. It's templates like this. It's planners like this that I have inside my vault that you can go grab, modify, and customize for your audience and sell it. I don't know how to do that, Angela. Well, that's what I'm here for. I got your back. I'm never going to stop creating ways for you to succeed in life and in business because I've been there before. The whole time I was teaching, trying to figure it out, I finally figured it out. And now I'm full-time content creator. I'm a full-time creator and online business coach. Why? Because I stopped telling myself that I needed a huge audience to start. I created what my audience needed and I went with that. I created what my audience needed and I launched and I committed to that. And so this is what you need. This is what you need. You need a graphic, a title of what solves your audience's problem. In this case, for this example, healthy eating meal plan tips. In other words, why would someone want to buy this? Let me give you some examples. Let me show you how you're just sitting on a product that could have made you at least $1,000 a month. That could grow to at least six figures, that could get you to $500,000. I'm telling you, there is proof of a person who literally made $546,000 on a $27 product. Sis, you could have been rich. So I'm here to help you see what is possible, right? And so who would need this? Let's say, for instance, you went to the doctor and the doctor said, if you can just decrease your blood pressure number, you could actually live or add 20 more years to your life. But if you don't decrease your blood pressure, you only have 6 months to live. Well, you have a pretty good incentive to want to start eating right. And so you took that doctor's advice. You told yourself, get it together. And you started figuring out ways to eat healthy. You started journaling these ways and you started implementing these ways every day. And when you went back to the doctor 6 weeks later, the doctor said you decreased your blood pressure 25, 27 points, 30 points, 40 points, whatever. And then you kept on this track of this actual meal plan, and you went back to the doctor and said, I don't know how you did it, but now you have the perfect blood pressure for your body type. You have the perfect blood pressure for your age. Go ahead and congratulate yourself because you just added 20 years to your life. So now, think about this for a second.
There are three things that you can use to put a digital product together: your story, your experiences, and your skills. Where this journey of what happened to you when you went to the doctor and they told you you're either going to live 6 months, 6 weeks, or 20 years, you pick one. Well, that whole journey gave you a story, it gave you experiences, and it gave you a skill. What skill? I know how to decrease blood pressure on this meal plan that I started. How many people out there have heard this same exact directive from a doctor? Millions of people are taking blood pressure medicine. That is why the pharmaceutical companies are making billions. They're making billions off of people's inability, or let's call it what it really is, not willingness to eat right. They would rather take a pill. What's the point I'm making? The point I'm making is this: you're turning your story, your experiences, and your skill of the meal plans that you created, and you turned it into a product. So would somebody pay $27 for that? Absolutely they would, on the title alone, especially if the doctor said the same thing to them that the doctor said to you. So you just need a title with a graphic, and this is a perfect title: Healthy Eating Meal Plan Tips. $27. Page 2. What to eat for breakfast, what to eat for lunch, what to eat for snack. Page 3, what to eat for dinner, what beverages to eat, what desserts and treats to eat. Page 4, meal planning and preparation. And that's it. 4 pages. All you did was put in a beautiful format the thing that you already did that got you the solution that you got. $27. Yes, somebody would pay it. Tell them your story. Tell them your experiences and share with them the skills that you attained in your journey, and then package it like this. And so now you don't have a whole lot of followers, but you created something for the imaginary followers that you had in your head. You created it for people just like you. Now, when you show up with this, you're going to get followers. In other words, you created it before the huge number of followers showed up, and you're making money along the way. So those 2 followers that you had that were your grandma and your cousin, and now you're showing up, sharing your story, sharing your experiences, sharing the skill, and you can talk about just breakfast for a whole month. Show up on your Perfect Fit platform. What's your Perfect Fit platform? Your Perfect Fit platform is, here are your choices. YouTube, if you love to be on camera and you don't have a problem being in the microphone. I've had a mic in my hand since I was a child. Being on camera is natural for me, so YouTube just makes sense. But if you don't want to be on camera, but you still like to talk out, share through your voice, then use a podcast. Podcast, you don't need a camera. You just need a microphone and your voice. You don't want to talk at all? Write a blog. Write a newsletter. Show up with no face videos and graphics and flow charts and things like this, just pictures of information. Show up on Pinterest. Pinterest would love you, right? Put this on Pinterest. Just the breakfast part with the picture of the breakfast and why that breakfast will lower your blood pressure, and then add a link to the $27 product in that Pinterest post, in that pin. I'm telling you, sis. I'm telling you, no more waiting. There's one thing that I know for sure, and I talked about this in another podcast. The title of that podcast is escaping me right now. But I talked about what I'm getting ready to say in that podcast. And I talked about how the one thing that would get you to your next step is minimizing the barriers. And that's what this is really all about. I'm minimizing the barriers for you. All right? And so this $27 product is going to make you money. I'm not going to promise you $1 million tomorrow. What I am saying is get over not having a whole lot of followers and waiting for a whole lot of followers to create something, and create something with the followers that you have, whether it's 0 or 200. Okay, again, I'm making money with just 342 subscribers on YouTube. Do I want more subscribers? Would I need more subscribers? Would I love more subscribers? Absolutely, because there's more people that I can help. But I'm already making money right now, from coaching to my community to my courses. And you can do it too. All right, let's go to the next step. So key point number one, the lie is you need a lot of followers to start. Not true. Key point number two is that you're sitting on a product right now, which you are. And let's go to the next one. The real reason most creators don't sell. All right. I know that some of the barriers are, I need the right tech. I need the right tools. But I have bought the best of the best of the best of things. And buying the best tools, buying the best website, I've paid a lot of money for people to tell me what I really already knew. And none of that brought me money. Most people don't sell because they think they need the right tech. They think they need the right tools. They think they need the biggest this, the best camera. You don't need any of those things. As a matter of fact, the most views that I have gotten on my shorts, I literally recorded on my phone. Even though I have a soundboard and an expensive mic and an expensive camera, I bought the Canon camera that I thought was going to make me a lot of money. I had to end up selling it because I didn't know how to use it. Waste of time and money because I didn't get back what I paid for it. And then I bought the next camera, and then I bought the next thing, and then I bought the next thing. I tried to throw money at my problem when really the truth of the matter is what I was missing is structure. The reason most creators don't sell is because they don't have the structure to do it. In other words, let's say, for instance, you took my advice and you did go on Canva, which is where I created that particular product that I just showed you, that I just shared with you. You want to see it again? Let me show it to you again. Let me just show it to you again. Built in Canva. Canva, Canva, and Canva. And you don't even have to create it from scratch. When you join my Cura Circle, I have a vault full of products and templates and planners just like this that all you have to do is customize and put out there. But here's the thing. I'm never going to tell you that it's just simple, simple, simple. You have to follow the steps. So even if you got in my Cura Circle, even if you became a member and you went through all the votes and say, oh, I like that, just go shopping because it's included in your plan. Just go shopping for the product that you want to create. I like that. Oh, I like that. I like that. And you just customize it for your audience. That's not going to be the hard part. That's not going to be your barrier. But even if you do, and it's going to take you about 10, 15 minutes to customize what's already there, you're still going to need a structure to do it. See, you don't need a fancy camera. You don't need a fancy website, but what you do need is a system to sell it. You do need a structure. Let's talk about that for a minute. I want to make sure you're fully equipped by the end of this episode. Let's talk about that for a minute. You need a structure to do it. Even if I just gave you right now the template that you just saw, you still need a structure to sell it. And that is what I teach you in my upcoming challenge. It's going to be starting June the 16th. And so, yes, you're going to end up with a product. That is the big takeaway from the challenge. You're going to end up with a product that you can sell. Something small, something simple. $27 product, $47 product. You're going to end up with it and you're going to have it ready to go at the end of the 5-day challenge. But that's not all I want you to have, because I know that if I just spend 5 days on you getting this product, it's going to just sit on the folder in your desk, on your desktop, and you still won't know what to do with it. I won't do that to you. For $97 for the challenge, I'm going to do what most people are paying $5,000 for people to show them how to do. Why? Because I know that in these 5 days and the $97, there's not much of a barrier for you to get exactly what you need. I have been in challenges. I have been in workshops. I have been in masterminds. I have been in all types of online education programs that said they were going to do all these things for me and help me do this and help me do that. And the truth of the matter is I was procrastinating because they didn't tell me anything I didn't already know. Yes, I took away some valuable information, information. A lot of it was valuable. Some of it was not. Some that I went in was not valuable at all. The point I'm making is this. You just getting information from me and hearing me talk, that's not what this is. This is day one, you think like a six-figure creator by doing strategic things, taking strategic steps. Day two, you literally create the offer with a template that I'm going to give you to plug and play for that small digital product you're going to sell by the end of 5 days. Day three, you build the actual simple platform to present the offer, get paid for the offer, and deliver the offer. Day four, I'll teach you literally a step-by-step, rinse and repeat BMW system that I created, the thing that I needed when I was a creator that nobody taught me. I'm going to teach you the 4 things you do every day to sell it. And then 5, we capture whatever amount of money you want to capture, hopefully 6 figures that you determine you wanted on day 1. What's the point I'm making? The point I'm making is this. The structure for the product that you are going to create, you're going to get it in those 5 days. Now, you can sit back and say, this is not true, it don't work, but you have paid for things before that didn't work. Bet on you, and $97 is not a lot of money for you to invest in yourself for this to work. Well, do you have proof that it works? Yes, because there are people who are my April challenge that's already making money. Yes, it works. It absolutely does work. And if you do not walk away with a product that you can sell at the end of 5 days, I'll give you $97 back. That's how confident I am you're going to walk away with a product. If you're willing to do the work, you're going to be tired that week. But I would rather be tired all day, every day with a result and a solution than tired with nothing at all. And aren't you tired of just not getting it done and just not seeing results? I know that I was when I started. I was tired. And no results. I'm tired most days, but I'm tired, but I'm making money. But I'm tired, but I'm growing. But I'm tired, but I'm seeing people with real results. All right, so you're going to need the structure, and you're going to get that structure in the 5-day challenge. I'm going to wrap up. I have 2 more things I want to share with you, and then I'm going to wrap up. Stick with me, because what I'm about to tell you is going to literally change your life. All right, so what's next? I went from teaching for free to charging for transformation. If you know someone that is a woman of faith who is scared, afraid, intimidated, stuck because they don't feel like being a woman of faith and being a financially free creator can match. They don't believe that. Send the link to this podcast right now, because I'm about to free a lot of women of faith who the only reason they didn't want to start in the first place is because they did not want to devalue and pimp out what God gave them. Tell them right now, you got to tune in to Angela right now, because I know you've had this conversation with your friends, with your spouse, with church members, most importantly with yourself, saying that I really do want to jump off with this. I really do want to make a lot of money with what I know God gave me, but I feel really guilty about it. I know, because I've been there before, and I'm going to show you just how I went from free to charging for transformation, guilt-free. 8 years I struggled, and I did not capitalize on what God gave me because I was afraid that I was pimping out the gospel. Because when God gives you something, it's pure, it's sacred, and you just want to protect it like a mother hen. And the last thing you want to do is make money from it. That couldn't possibly be fair. Right? The last thing you want to do is grow wealth from it. That can't possibly be right. You could have never been more wrong. Type in the comments if you agree with what I'm saying. Type, "You are so on it, Angela." Type it in the comments if you resonate with what I'm saying, if you're watching on the replay. Because here's what happened to me that I know it's happening with a lot of other people. How do I know it's happening with others? Because I just had a conversation with a client Monday. about this very same thing. And I shared with my client my journey, and the light bulb, the aha moment, I can see it in her eyes. Yes, Jamila. I thank you for that. Jamila said, you are so on it. I'm going to share with you what happened to me and the breakthrough that I helped a client Monday, the breakthrough that I helped her with. Number one, you know in your heart of hearts when God gave you something. You just know it. Nobody have to tell you. And if somebody does tell you, it's really just a confirmation of what God already said. And when I figured out, when I realized, when the light bulb went off in my head and my heart, that God gave me something that could actually help free people, I was like, that is wonderful. I'm so glad that God gave me this. I am in a position to help a lot of people, but I refuse to charge for it. People would try to give me money, and I would be like, oh no, that's okay. Don't pay me, because the guilt, the overwhelming guilt of, I'm not supposed to use this to make money. I'm supposed to use this to help people. The guilt of that stopped me from making money for 8 years. Here's what was happening. I felt like I was on the crux of pimping the gospel, manipulating people, because what God gave me was free. So how do I dare charge for it? I felt like I was an imposter, because I didn't have a whole lot of followers. So surely it's not worth anything. That's why I can tell you what I'm telling you today. All that mindset garbage kept me from making money for 8 years. And so I was coaching people. I was creating things for people. Oh, you need this? Sure. Oh, you need you just need the structure? Sure. Sending them things that other creators were making millions from. I was doing it for free. Because God gave it to me, I felt like I wasn't supposed to charge for it. Until God showed me in the word of God that he wants me to monetize what he gave me. He brought me to Deuteronomy 8 and 18. I'm not a person that reads a whole lot of Deuteronomy. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest with you. Psalms, Proverbs, Ephesians, Galatians, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Jude, even Revelation. I was even reading Revelation more than I was reading Deuteronomy. And Revelation is a hard book to swallow, baby. And I was like, Deuteronomy, why would I want to read anything in Deuteronomy? But God led me to Deuteronomy 8 and 18, and it literally said, God has given you the power to get wealth. What? What? God has given me what? You mean to tell me what God has given me, he wants me to be wealthy from it? I was like, okay. So I started researching. I was like, okay, maybe it's not just what that's not what it's saying. Maybe power is like something, I don't know. Start researching. And the first thing I do when I research scripture, I look at that scripture in several different translations to try to get a grasp of what God is saying to me. And I found one translation that rocked me to my very core. One translation read like this: God has given you the ability to get wealth. So the word power there means ability. From the original language, power is translated from the original language in which it was written. The word power there is ability. Okay, well, Angela, what kind of abilities do I have? Let me help you out with that. You either have a gift and or a talent. Both of these are abilities. A gift is something that you were born being able to do that nobody had to teach you how to do. A talent is something that you learned over time. Either way, it's an ability. And so I'm like, okay, I have a couple of abilities. I am easily, without stress, strain, or struggle, able to walk in any room and the room light up just by saying hello. I'm not saying that in a very, very braggadocious way. It's not even an humble brag. I'm just owning what God gave me, and that is a gift. The Bible talks about it like a gift of exhortation. A big word for exhortation is a big word for motivation. I am inherently able to motivate others because it's just how God built me. It's how my brain works. It's how my heart works. And God said it's okay for me to capitalize on that. 2008, when I started coaching, I wrote my first book. I Motivate Me was the title of that book. I took that book and I started coaching and I started speaking. So between 2008, 2010, somewhere up in there, when I left teaching for the first time, because I left teaching 3 times figuring this out. When I left teaching for the first time, I was trying to walk out what God gave me. And it was good. It wasn't perfect yet, but it was good. And so when I would try to coach people, don't pay me anything. And even when I did take money for coaching, it was so minimal. It didn't even pay my business expenses. Like I wasn't even smart enough to cover what I was paying out. So I was paying for my business to be in business out my teacher salary. How traumatic is that? How traumatic is that? Then I wrote my book, all right? Was giving the book away, literally giving the book away because I didn't think it was valuable enough for somebody to pay for it. That's just the truth. And then I would start speaking. I was speaking at churches and women's conferences and at the Chamber of Commerce. I was everywhere. People would pay me I went to a church and my payment was gumbo. I kid you not. I got a bowl of gumbo at the end. Didn't understand because I was afraid and terrified to say, this is how much you need to pay me for what I'm getting ready to give to you. And so I was teaching for free. And when God led me to Deuteronomy 8:18, I started feeling like I was free from the bondage of I can't sell this. Now, there are a lot of pimping preachers out there, and I'm going to call it out because it's true. They are saying, get in the prayer line, and if you give me $1,000, I know that you're going to get a new car. They can't possibly know that. They can't possibly know that. But they would rather tell you that because they just want the $1,000 and whatever happens with you is what happens with you. I didn't want to be that person. So I went from having something valuable that's actually going to give my audience an actual solution and not wanting to pay for it at all and not wanting them to pay for it at all because I felt like I was going to be like them. I did not want to be categorized as a pimping preacher. I did not want to be categorized as a manipulator. And I did not want to devalue what God gave me. I was holding it like it was so precious. I don't want to sell it to you. I'll just give it to you then. I'll just give it away. And that's not what God said. The only thing God requires for you to do when you monetize what he gave you is to give glory to his name and to use the wealth for good. That's his only requirement. How do I know? How do I know that? Because not only did God take me to Deuteronomy 8:18 to free me from not wanting to sell what he gave me, he took me to Ezra. Now, if I wasn't reading Deuteronomy, I probably wasn't reading Ezra either. It's just not one of my top 10 books. But guess what had happened? So Ezra was in a foreign land and he had a job working for the government. I'm going to put it in terms like we could understand what's going on today. He was a Christian working for the government. At that time, he was a Jew working for a king. But the king was not a Christian king. He was a pagan king. So it would be like me and you working for the government, but we're Christians. And so Ezra was good at what he did. He took the rich, valuable content, the rich, valuable information, the skills, the gifts. He took what God gave him and he began to help the government grow. Like, he was a Christian, but with a pagan king, he was helping the kingdom grow. And so the government, they started looking at all the things that he was doing. And so he got called into the office. True story. He got called into the office. And so I guess it was time for an evaluation. And so the king at that time said, I've been noticing what you're doing, and I've been seeing that my kingdom we're in the black. We're making money. We are growing. It's a pagan country. He was just stuck in a situation where he couldn't glorify and magnify his God. But he put his gifts and his talents, he put them to use. And the government started paying attention. And so he was like, I like what you're doing. I see what you're doing. And so he said this. He said, you are so good at what you do. Now watch this. It's going to free you. This is going to take you from free to charging for transformation. This right here. If Deuteronomy 8 and 18 didn't do it for you, this will. And I got to go. I'm gonna round up with this. Don't go yet, because I got to tell you one more thing. But watch this, though. Watch this. After the king brought him into the office and began to give him all the accolades of what he was actually able to accomplish and what he was able to do, he told him these words. True story. Look it up. He said, I want you to be in charge of all the finances. You are the only person that I am giving direct access to the budget, the kingdom's budget. Do what you want with the budget. I'm giving you complete charge over it. It would be like in today's time, he gave him the Secretary of Commerce or oh God. Hey, Tim, what's the name of the person that's in charge of all the money in the United States? Is it Janet Reno's job? The Secretary of Treasurer. And that's not Janet Reno's job. Somebody help me out in the comments. Look it up for me on Google real quick, because I want to make sure I give everybody the right information. It's the person that is either the Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Commerce, one of those persons. All right. That would be, and I know who it is, and I can't think of it right now because I'm so stuck on Ezra. The point I'm making is this. He said, you're in charge of all the money. The secretary, let's call it the Secretary of Treasury. That might be it. But Janet Reno is in charge of something else, or was in charge of something else. But Ezra, you're in charge of all the money. No financial decision is made without you. But this is the part that got me. At the end of that conversation, he said, and I've been noticing that you don't have the same God like I have. Oh my God. And I've been noticing that you are worshiping something a little different. He said, I tell you what, he said, I'm going to give you the money to build my kingdom like you've been doing to do the work. He said this to me. He said, but whatever you have left off, once you take care of the job of the Secretary of Treasury work, he said, take the rest and use it for what you want to use it for. True story. He said, take the rest and it's yours. Keep it. The king at the time financed Ezra's ministry with pagan king money. What am I saying? You are not required to use your gift and be poor. You are not required to walk in your gift and lack. You are not required to walk in your abilities, even if God gave it to you. You are not required to take a vow of poverty just to use it. There are two requirements. Bring glory to my name. Give me the credit. Say God did it, because he did, and use it for good. In other words, see that Bentley behind me on my vision wall, I get to have that. And I'm going to pay for it cash with what God gave me, and that's okay. But I'm not allowed to buy 5 Bentleys or 7 Bentleys, one for every day of the week, and then watch 20 women suffer and walk to work. No, I can have maybe the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Yes, L. I love L. L. I love you. Yes. Okay. So you see. I need you to give Elle and Jamila a big thumbs up if you watch it on the replay because they came through. So the Federal Reserve Chairman is Jerome Powell. So he's in charge of the Reserve. And then Scott Bessent is the Secretary of Treasury right now. So that would be the equivalent of Ezra going in the office and say, I'm going to give you 2 jobs. I want to put you over the entire Federal Reserve, like all the money. Nothing happens with the money unless it goes through you. And then the Secretary of Treasury, no decision is made for our kingdom's budget unless it goes through you. That's the job Ezra got. Being a Christian, doing what he was supposed to be doing, walking in his gifts, talents, and abilities. He did not take the God of the pagan king. He walked in his gift. He walked in his talent. He walked in his authority. And the king said, I'm going to put you in charge of all of this. And whatever money you have left, use it for what you want. Y'all. So I'm reading this, I'm seeing this, and I'm thinking, no, I'm not required to give away what God gave me. As a matter of fact, God is requiring me to do well with it, and he's requiring me to grow wealth from it. Why? Because he knows that he can trust me with the money. See, Ezra's king knew he could trust him with the money. So why is it okay for you to grow wealth with what you have? Because God knows he can trust you with the money. You're going to use the money to solve the world's biggest problems. So I'm having this conversation with my client on Monday, and she was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, girl. She walked away free, knowing that what she is going to accomplish is going to free millions of women, because I told her it was okay to get wealth from it. She's no longer hiding it. She's no longer shielding it. She's no longer putting a dim light on it because she's guilty about selling it. No, girl, don't be guilty about selling it. As a matter of fact, make a high ticket offer if you have to. Solomon charged for his services. Solomon was the richest king that ever lived. Why? Because he understood that I could take my value and monetize it. The woman with the little oil, what did the prophet Elisha tell her? He said, go and sell it. He didn't say, go bless the whole village with all the oil that you have and God gonna work a miracle. Why do preachers keep saying that if you just get in their line, you're gonna just get in their money line, you're gonna just automatically be rich? Why? Because they're manipulators. Because that's not at all what God said. Thumbs up to the people who are telling people the right thing, because all preachers not doing that. All preachers are not pimp of the gospel. And this is what I don't understand. If you take that same line and say, I'm going to pay for everybody in this line to be part of Angela Tessano's $97 challenge, you would get more money from that than you would getting money from out of their wallets, saying, just give me the money and you're going to be rich. They don't understand because they are manipulating people just to give them money. Can't do that. You can't say, close the doors and make people give you money. You can't do that. That's not what this is. How about you teach people how to be wealthy and then teach them how to freely give? I'm never getting ready to get in nobody $100 line talking about I'm going to get a car from that. I'm never getting ready to do that. But if God tell me to give $1,000, I'll give $1,000 with no expectation at all, because I can freely give it because I have it. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up with this. You gotta take the mental step in your mental space and in your heart space to go from teaching free to charging for transformation. In other words, yes, you're going to have this $27 product by the time you leave my challenge. Now, if you've gone through my challenge in April and you're in the Cura Circle, go through my challenge again, because going through it again doesn't hurt. But this time in this June's challenge, you're going to have the actual product. You're going to have a $27 offer, a $47 offer that you can sell by the end of those 5 days. because I'm going to give you the template to do it. And if you're already inside my Cura Circle, you're going to get the template to do it. All right. So last thing I want to tell you is this before I wrap up. There's a new path to monetize without the burnout, and that's the low ticket offer. This is the day of the low ticket offer. Remember, I told you there was a person that made $542,000 on a $27 product. Now, is that automatic? No, I can't lie to you. I'm going to say it has to be the right product, and it has to solve a problem that your audience is already looking for. Yay, Jamila says, I'm in. I'm in. It's the April challenge was great, but the June challenge, amazing. Amazing. Even the May challenge didn't do this. The June challenge is the one you want to attend, because I am going to give you a plug and play template to sell a $27 offer. But Angela, I'm already coaching. But Angela, I'm already speaking. But Angela, I'm already consulting. Great. Keep doing that. But you need a product that is going to make you money passively while you are coaching, while you are consulting, while you are speaking, while you are building writing the book, while you are building an additional program, while you are working on your job, while you are folding the clothes, while you are going on vacation. You need a simple product that's making money that your audience can purchase and download and grow from and solve their problem from. That's going to make money without you being involved. That's why you have to join the challenge. And so the new path to monetize without burnout, that's a simple product. And that's what we're going to create. So one product, one repeatable system equals a scalable income. What does that mean? I'm going to say this real quick before I wrap up because I'm already past time. I'm going to say this real quick. Here is how it works. You create one simple offer. You create one simple platform to present that offer, get paid for that offer, and deliver that offer. And then you grow and scale from that offer. In other words, if I go back to, let me go back to the screen. Let me go back to the scene where I showed you the graphic. Let's say you create this offer. All right. You went to my vault, you found something you liked, you customized it, and you created it. Yes, it's $27. Yes, it's $47 or $29 or $49, right? It needs to be something under $50. And you are selling it. Great. 1,000 people a month are buying it. They're grabbing it off the shelves. They're like, oh my God, did y'all hear about this product? Great. Now you can turn this simple product and turn it into a coaching program, because some people who have the information, they're grateful for it and it's working, but they want somebody to be accountable to. They want somebody they can ask questions to. They want somebody they can bounce ideas off of. So now this $27 product or $49 product has turned into a $3,000 coaching program. Like, I used to charge a limited amount of money for coaching. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not. And I'm not saying that because I'm being greedy. I'm not saying that because I think I'm more than I am. I'm saying that because I finally understand my value. I finally understand my value. And I'll let you get on the payment plan. But you need to pay for your services. Why? Because if you pay for it, you'll pay more attention to it. If I gave it to you for free, what would happen? You would just put it on the shelf. You would just like, oh, that was nice. But if you pay for it, you're going to want to get your money out of it, right? That would be like you buying a timeshare and never staying. No, you're going to find time to go and to Cancun, or you're going to find time to go to Florida because you paid for that timeshare. You're not going to just let it sit there and say, oh, that was nice, I'm glad I bought that. But if somebody gave you a timeshare because there's no skin in the game, because there's no investment, you're going to be like, oh, I'll go one day. Oh, it didn't cost me nothing. Oh, I'll go one day. So get in the challenge for $97. All right. And if you want me to coach you, I will coach you. It's going to cost you, but it's my time. And I'm going to give you value. Just ask my client from Monday. She's literally able to take what God has given her and got the block off of, I don't know if I can sell this. I don't know if I should sell this, with the permission to herself to sell it. And she got a name for it. And she's able to articulate it through right messaging. Like, look at the testimonials. I'm going to put it on my website sometime today. She was like, how were you able? She said this to me in the testimonial. She said, how were you able to tell me in 5 minutes what my messaging is for my customer? And I haven't done it in years because it's the gift that God gave me. It's the talent that God gave me. And I monetize it, and it's okay because it helped me. It's bringing money to my fold, to my household, and it helped her. It's going to bring money to her household. It's like a domino effect, right? All right. So back to the last point I want to make today, and that is this. The new path to monetizing without burnout is a small offer, a digital product. You gotta put together a digital product, and we're gonna do that in the 5 days. I'm gonna give you the plug and play template to input your information to sell that product. But I'm not just going to give you a product because just having a product is not the answer. I'm going to give you the system to monetize it. In other words, you're going to organize, systemize, and monetize that knowledge of yours. Can I say that one more time? You're going to organize, systemize, and monetize that wonderful knowledge of yours. All right. So the challenge is coming up June 16th. You can join the challenge by clicking the link in the description. I am going to take you through every step you need to take to have that product in your hand by the time that you leave. I'm giving you something to sell. I'm literally giving you something to sell. All you have to do is join the challenge. All right, what's the oil drop for today? And then we're going to wrap up. You don't need a lot of followers to prove your worth. You need a product that proves your solution. Oh, y'all. You don't need a lot of followers to prove your worth. You've been saying to yourself, oh, but I don't have that many people following me. That's not what's going to validate you. What's going to validate you is the product that proves that your solution actually works. And with that, I have one more thing to say. Little is much when God is in it. You need one offer, one small product, one small simple system to sell it, and then you will work and grow from there. What will you do with your little oil? I got to scoot. Oh, I'm 6 minutes late. I got to get into the Kira Circle because I have my coaching roundtable right now. All right. I will see you next week for the Little Oil podcast. I got to scoot into the Kira Circle. Bye for now.